titillate the juices. You know what? Woo! Right now. Woo! Woo!
Dr. Hughes invites followers. Oh, let's see if they increase now. Me too. Yeah, wow. Dr. Hughes.
Mock-ass mock.
He's a great podcaster.
Trick-ass mock.
Acknowledge me.
We coming for you, nigga. Fat!
Yeah, Dr. Hughes, here we go. Keep plugging yourself, that's cool.
You
First up, a man whose looks will serve your inner needs and desires.
Dr. Hughes.
It's me, Dr. Huge. Who's coughing during my intro? How dare you? Don't ever cough during the Dr. Huge intro, bro. Use that cough button, or hopefully if you have one. But shout out to everybody out there. It's the Dr. HUGENSTEIN show, the Dr. Huge show. Shorten it up there. Go like and subscribe. Follow everywhere on the interwebs. We're acting really overly excited today because that's what you guys out here want, like Pat McAfee and things. There's no other way you can like the guy, right? So we're gonna like him over Dr. Huge. Is this what's going on? This face? You want this face instead of this one in front of you right now? Come on. So definitely retweet this if you're on X. And if you're still on X right now, you're cool, but the super cool people are on YouTube and they're trying to pump us up there and get us over.
I mean, soon everybody's going to be moving to YouTube. I mean, don't look like TikTok's coming back for a lot of wrestling potters. So.
Uh-oh. Should we talk about that first? I didn't even have that in the notes. I totally forgot about this. I just recently seen out here in the X streets, Statlander was like, she said something like, aren't we all happy that TikTok is closing down, right? And I'm thinking to myself, no, even though I have 9 followers or whatever on there and I barely use the thing, and I'm trying to get that over too as well, if you haven't noticed, but it's not seeming to work out. Me in my great business mind, I decided to get on TikTok like last month, knowing that all this was about to happen. But, I like to do the uncool thing because that's really what is cool, by the way. But, yeah, any thoughts on the TikTok in general and the wrestling angle on this? Because a lot of them do use it.
But TikTok is trash. It's bloody junk food for your eyes and everything. It's all the things that people complain about. It really is. But it's for parents to say that the kids shouldn't be on it. It's not other people. It's not the government. It's not everybody else's business telling what you should and shouldn't be watching. So yeah, kids. I agree that kids shouldn't be like just consuming all that junk. Especially when they're just like left with a tablet or a phone as a babysitter. And then when you see the difference between what's on the Chinese version and what's on the Western version. But yeah, it shouldn't be the government saying who can look at what. Nope. So I'm against it. But I understand why people have problems with it. But it's just it's an excuse to open a door for control and censorship, and that can go up someone's ass sideways. No.
Yeah, forcing to sell is kind of, I don't know, just seems not cool either. I'm going to force you to sell this thing because I don't like what. And they say, I think the reasoning is, I keep hearing is, well, they're collecting all the data. Well, I've also heard that there was a deal where they were like, here, you guys can have all your own data from this and everything. And they kind of refused. So it's more about, I think, information, take from that what you will, but it's a way for them to, like you said, censor, to stop information from flowing from one corporate country to another, because there's a lot of Americans, figuring things out, and they actually did it through TikTok. It's kind of wild. But yeah, with the wrestling angle on it, it's just like anybody else. They're getting a shitload of views over there. Like Rhea Ripley must be like almost in full meltdown mode she is. I think she's the biggest TikTok person in the WWE.
Right.
She's
Yes.
super over with the kids. That's probably a reason why. So, Rhea Ripley, I'm sorry. Rest in peace to your TikTok. Hey, you never know. Trump will get in there and bring it right back from the dead. So, yep. Reezy, you must be feeling sad. You're huge on TikTok.
I mean, I love TikTok. I feel like they don't have a good reasoning for banning TikTok. I have a theory that they're banning TikTok maybe because there's been a lot of accounts maybe giving out information that the government doesn't want people to know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Maybe that, or maybe just they don't. Maybe people are making too much money off TikTok. Maybe it's that. I have no idea. But whatever it is, I'm sure it's not a good reasoning. But I'm not going to lose any sleep at night.
Yeah.
People crying or whatever, listen, they'll come up with something new. They always do. There will be a new TikTok within a year or two.
Yep, they're already at Red Note.
Oh, yeah. Somebody would discover a new app. There's always these things sitting around, man. Somebody would discover a new app, and everybody would jump to that. So,
yeah, Red Note, which is, I guess, means Mao's Red Book.
Little Red Book, yeah.
Little Red Book, yeah.
I mean, they're talking about banning Twitter one time, and they never did. So,
there is that element to it where people are. Yeah, I don't want to get too deep into it on your bloody wrestling podcast, but there's a lot of people now just all of a sudden going, "Oh yeah, China are real good. I'm going to go jump on. I'm Team China now," and that's it. Just not getting banned was enough for them to just be like, "Yeah, I'm going to side with China," and it's like, "Oh come on." Like Reezy just said, you don't need to lose sleep over it. Something else will pop up. If you've been on the internet long enough, you'll see that these things have like they just come back, or something else will fill that void, and that'll happen. You just need to give it time. There's other platforms currently. Just wait for something that's either going to be fresh that starts off and then just turns huge, or something that's mediocre now that just gets bigger. It'll happen.
You know what? And the crazy part about this, 20 years ago, we had this. It was called MySpace. The best.
Yeah.
Customizable profiles. You had you could stick up and promote your top 8s or top whatevers, even if they were nobodies. You know what I mean? Like there was so much you could put music on your platform. You could, because it wasn't even like a profile, especially in the middle of like when it was at its peak. But it was so much more than that. You could contact people. Because I mean, we're in a social media age where it feels like they've kind of stripped the social stuff out of it. We're now just seeing a shitload of AI content and marketing. It's all marketing. And I get it. Everybody's got something going on, right? But there are some people that take it to a whole nother level. They're not even trying to be there. Like, I would like to think my account, at least at one point before they just turned off the spigot on me, back in the beginning of 2019, it was just like overnight, my reach, everything just happened to go away. I guess everybody just disliked me overnight. But around this time, you could grow organically. It was just what a great time. Just like TikTok, I'm sure for many of you, you went on there right at the beginning and you could like grow. You were getting followers, you were doing stuff, people were seeing it. Yeah, good luck with all that now with things being stripped away from you. And, we're starting to see like they're really putting the clamps on being able to communicate properly.
Yeah,
freely.
That's accurate. It used to be social networking, but now it's social media or social marketing as that's how I see it, because that's all it is. They've taken that networking part out, and like you say, they're taking the conversation because they get to control what you say. The worst one's LinkedIn, by a country mile. Bill Hicks has a joke about people in marketing and sales going home and boom, fixing the problem for everybody else. And I used to think he went too far with that. And I'm like, yeah, it's a bit funny. I sort of get it, but it's not that bad. And then you get a LinkedIn account and just see some of the shit on there. It's yeah, and I'm like, all right, yeah, it's kind of funny now.
God.
But that's the worst one. Just like you say, for people just taking the personality out of it and just being like business 24/7.
Yep. They
Definitely.
business accounts for everything. Like I thought this was supposed to be MySpace, but better. But it's not. It's MySpace, but way, way, way worse. Remember the freedom on MySpace? I had a story. A guy used to come on my show at like the first 10 shows I ever did back in the Dizzy. And I wish I could find him. He was hilarious. He'd come on and he had this story about how he was on MySpace when he was younger. And he started trolling David Spade with the Kenny Rogers from Mad TV. I don't know if you guys ever seen that. I think Will Sasso played a drunk Kenny Rogers all the time. That's basically what he was, the country singer over here for the old people. And and he just kept trolling him to the part. I forget what the actual story was, but he was in communication with David Spade because he was like arguing with him online. And think of that world. I mean, of course, celebrities will argue with trolls and things like that. But this was, like I said, 20 years ago. Nobody was really seeing it. And I think that's why they were interacting more, because it wasn't like everybody was connected with, and being shown out there all the time. Imagine a celebrity getting into it with some random troll online and nobody noticing, right, these days. But back then, people wouldn't seem to notice as much. And it was just a different world. It was great. We got to go back to that point. Get away from these, they're clearly controlled by intelligence or something, like authorities, like whether it's local or federal or state, somebody's watching and logging everything you're doing, because it's not MySpace. Why would you get rid of MySpace?
It just got too big, like a lot of other profile sites. Like Facebook,
Anything
even when
gets too big, anything that gets too big, the government
they want a piece of it, or they want to get a finger in there so they can control it. But I mean, even Facebook, when that first started, it was just like a little newspaper. It essentially replaced Friends Reunited. You didn't have to pay for that. You didn't have to pay for Facebook, sorry. Whereas Friends Reunited was like $5 a month or something, and people wanted to get in touch with old school friends, but they didn't want to pay that money. And Facebook was brilliant for that, especially seeing photographs of people you've not seen since school. But then it just got bigger and bigger, and there was games and adverts, and like Reezy just said, government wanted to get in there too. So just gradual downfall. But MySpace got too big, and everyone just started putting like 17 videos on the profile. So you needed like a shit hot computer just to view someone's bloody profile page.
Yep. Everybody's loving Elon. Everybody's loving this new Zuckerberg now. I mean, if you're buying that act, then oh my goodness. Tom's the GOAT. That's it. Tom in the NFL Tom, and the social media Tom, the GOATs for life. Don't ever forget it, kids. And the kids don't know they don't know shit about MySpace. They were like 3, 4, 5 years old when it was out. They weren't on MySpace. Well, they better not have been. It's a wild west of social media. Like I said, customizable profiles, bro. Like, what beats that? Now we all look the same. Everything looks exactly. This stinks. You guys stink. You're not good at this creative business. Let's move more in that direction. We don't need AI for all of it either. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, into some hardcore wrestling talk, because I know that's what many of the folks here are looking for. So get sharing this all over the internet. We need more people in the chat. Let's see what the chat's been saying this whole time, since we've been killing it. Yep. Philly Sports Pride in the house. He's yeeting.
Philly
Loving the
Sports
show. Yep. Killing it over there. Are they going to win this weekend? Who knows? Stay tuned on that as well. I don't know. Don't pick the games that this guy bets on. All right? Because look at him. I'll give you the real bets. Maybe. I might bet on
Anybody
some games this
watch
weekend. Whatever fits the storyline best, that's what I'm betting on this weekend. Just like wrestling. But Corey Graves, we got to talk about this Corey Graves situation. There's a lot going on here. We spoke about it, Danny, Tuesday night. brought up the tweets.
Yep.
And those tweets are gone now.
Oh.
He was supposed to be on NXT that night. He wasn't on NXT. And then last I heard, he removed his tweets. The IWC's going wild. They're calling him out and calling him all kinds of names and things. It seems to be a mess. But then again, is it a work that turned into a shoot, or is this a shoot that turned into a work? Was this a work the whole time? What is going on?
The only thing I've seen since we spoke about this was it was apparently his brother saying this is real. That's it. Whether or not that was his brother's Twitter account or social media account, I don't know. But that's the only thing I've seen since that. So I didn't even know that the messages had gone. Sorry, Reese, you're gone.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, you're good, man. You're good, man. You got a good point. But I think he got a phone call and they gave him some words and he quickly deleted his messages. I'm just saying. He probably got a call from Papa H, Triple H, or somebody in corporate. They gave him some words. He deleted all of his stuff. And right now, probably the future for him, and this is just going for the WWE over their history, when people do stuff like that, they usually disappear. So they probably have no plans to bring him back on TV. He's probably going to sit at home and get paid until his contract either expires or they release him. And they'll probably make him, when they release him, they'll probably make him sit out his 90 days or 30 days, however long they do. And he will go become a commentator somewhere else. But after that, I can guarantee you WWE is not interested in using this guy. Anytime somebody speaks out on WWE, if anybody looks back on the history, it does not go well for them.
I hope that doesn't happen. Hopefully,
I hope not either.
Hopefully they like money and they're going to work this into a shoot, brother, with this guy once more. Let's show him. Let's fight Pat McAfee. If I can't do it and they won't allow me anywhere near WWE or their superstars or their legends, they'll cut bumpers and promos for me, but they can't come on my show because I'm too hardcore, I'm too real, from the podcast streets, dude. But I will allow Corey Graves to go fight Pat McAfee for my honor. Like I'm a lady, like I'm Carmella. So thank you. You can be that's literally what a champion means. He's going to champion Dr. Huge and fight Pat McAfee in his 1,000-pound head here. And he's going to beat a punter because he's a wrestler, Corey Graves. At least he used to be. I think his neck is going to get better and he's going to fight Pat McAfee. But then this guy, where is he? This guy, Dave Meltzer, let's fix that, says that it was over Wade Barrett in him taking a spot or whatever. But then again, I think it's Pat McAfee on Netflix. Because was Corey on Netflix? Raw, or was he on SmackDown? Do you guys remember?
I think he was on Raw.
I think he was on Raw.
Somebody let us know. Which show was Corey Graves on? Was it Raw or SmackDown?
I want to say Raw too. At least when Pat McAfee's not there. And of course he was coming back. I think we knew he was going to come back and be on Netflix. But I think Corey Graves should feel some kind of way. He should be on the top show.
Yeah, but on WWE side, even though I like Corey Graves better, Pat McAfee is the money draw. Fans go crazy for Pat McAfee when they go out. It's a bigger pop. Corey gets a pop too, but it's not bigger than Pat. So when WWE looks at Pat McAfee, they look at money. They look at merch sales.
I look at a really big head, a soy, that soy face, and then a lesbodian hairdo. That's what I see. I don't know what everybody else is seeing, but if you're not seeing what I'm seeing, I think I've accurately laid this out, and if not, then I feel like I'm on crazy pills. Then I must be on crazy pills, because I can't understand why people like that. I can't understand why people like this. They told me online that was not cringe, that I'm wrong, I'm old, I'm stupid for not liking Pat McAfee and for not liking. So I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore.
Yeah, I
Maybe
don't
I
know what
am.
to think neither. But I do agree with one thing. If they do work it out with Corey, they could turn this into an angle and do Pat McAfee, Corey Graves, WrestleMania. They can do that. Now that will work if they can work it out with Corey Graves. But WWE working it out with other people, it's a hit or miss. Sometimes they're not open to working it out with people. They're a very petty company. That's
So let
one
me
thing
get
they
this
have to
straight.
say.
King Reezy, you're saying that this is not a work at all.
I don't think it's a work. No, it's not a work. I don't
Okay.
think this is a work at all. But they can turn it into a work.
Mm-hmm. What do
Why
you think,
not?
Danny? Work the whole time, or?
I think I don't think it was a work to begin with. I think it's maybe sort of like he being Corey is sort of like, excuse me, known full well that if he says something, it's going to get attention and they might be able to turn it into something. But it has to be beef with Pat McAfee, because he said something about, I'm not famous enough for the spot. And that can't be Wade Barrett, because no disrespect to Wade Barrett, but he's good and everything, but he's not like a household name in wrestling or wrestling commentating or anything like that. He may get there one day, but that's not now. So he had to be talking about Pat McAfee. And I could see
Or
why
the
he'd
new
be.
guy.
Yeah.
Where did he come from? The new guy.
Football and other sports.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. I did look him up, like when I saw him on wrestling, because I don't really watch other sports, so it was unfamiliar to me. But he has done other things.
I'll tell you what. I don't have really any respect for guys that kick balls. I'm sorry, to all my international fans that are watching all over the world right now and are liking and subscribing and sharing this video as I'm speaking. But I can't respect guys that I don't. It's not my culture, if you will, to go outside and then go kick balls around. I'm sorry, Danny. I know this is very offensive to you right now, but if you play a sport where you're kicking a ball, we had a word for this in the 90s, but I can't say that. It just reminds me of Pat McAfee, and sure, he was a football player, but what was he doing? He was kicking a ball. Like, who cares? You mean to tell me I'm supposed to care about an NFL? Oh, he's in the NFL. He's kicking. Okay, go play el football, as they taught me to say in high school. They're like, no, in Spanish class, it's not soccer, it's el football. And I'm like, well, you know what? We already have a football here. That's the only football I've ever known, except for the ones where the hippies would go, play with the chicks across the street. Actually looks fun sometimes, especially when there are chicks involved. But I wasn't a hippie in high school, and I don't like Pat McAfee because he's got a 1,000-pound head in this face and that voice. I can't.
It's his voice, I think, more than anything. That's just when he's too excited. But I see why people like him, because he is a name, but then he does get excitable. He does get exciting, sorry. It makes other people excitable. I don't know, maybe they could just get him to be the hype guy that comes out at the beginning and psychs the crowd up. He doesn't have to be on commentary. Give someone that's like better that spot. I don't know. I'm sure they could still include him and keep people that have worked for the company, Christ, like 10 years, 12 years? I don't even know how long Corey's been there now, but it's been a while.
As an announcer, it's been a while. I remember I was watching NXT when he was still wrestling on there.
Yeah.
That's when I first started watching it. And I might have seen like a match or two of his before he was gone. And God, that was 2015, I want to say 2014 maybe.
Yeah, so it's
10 years.
Put time into the company.
Yep.
Definitely, yeah. I can see why he'd get upset if he is.
He's got to come back with Carmella at some point too. We haven't seen Carmella in forever. She really took that mom business serious. So I'm like, Alexa, she should be coming back soon. The man once again. Yep. All right. So we've said enough about this. I think we figured it out. What Corey Graves is up to.
Well, what's everybody else's thoughts? Anybody typing something in the thing? What they think of it?
Well, Sasha Reigns agrees with Reezy and Danny about Pat. Not me. You like Pat McAfee, Sasha Reigns? All right. How about this? You gotta like everybody in the chat. If you don't like Corey Graves better than Pat McAfee, you're probably gonna get blocked and banned. So just write in the chat. Is it Corey Graves? Don't be afraid. I won't do it. Right. I'm just saying it out loud, just in case you're feeling a little heroic or something out here. Tell us who's the guy. Okay, you guys just give easy question here. One answer: Corey Graves, Pat McAfee. Go ahead. Don't be shy. Can you hear me? I'm talking to you guys, Danny and King Reezy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Corey.
I thought you were talking to the people.
Yeah, so did I. I thought
I stopped that. Yeah, now I'm on to you guys.
I'm going with Pat.
All right, you're gone. You want to try it, Danny? Go ahead. Who do you want, Corey or Pat? Corey or Pat?
Mauro Ranallo.
All right. Hold on. Everybody's gone. We can't get rid of these people. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and take that they like the wrong people over Corey Graves. All right. I will allow you back just because this is I can't be a panel by myself. So you're welcome.
That's funny.
No. If commentary,
but I think Corey, man, here's my thing though. I will say this before we get off this subject.
Mm-hmm.
I think Corey Graves will have a great commentating career after if he's not with WWE.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think he'll have a great commentating career. So if this isn't a work at all, listen, man, a lot of smaller promotions he would do them something real good. He would do great for NWA. He would do great for MLW. He would do great for Ohio Valley. Just wherever he goes, I think he will do great business.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Tony Khan writes a big fat check just because he has to have him.
Yeah. Of course, how could I forget about Tony? You know, Tony will call him.
But I mean, if he goes there, though, that's like getting the best bassist in the world to go and play on the Titanic. The ending is still the same. It doesn't matter how good you are on that bass guitar. It's still going under the water.
And I really try to say something good about AEW, but good Lord, they're on the Titanic sinking right now.
And the commentary is not the first thing you think of to try and make the argument that it's good. It's one of the last things you mention.
Mm.
And Corey would improve that, but like I say, overall, it's going downhill, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Punk didn't. I mean, Punk moved the needle a little bit at the time, but it really wasn't like they did okay. MJF was gloating about this, having some of the best this and that, so whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, well, who was it with too? You always have to have a dance partner. And I'm like, oh, it's probably all the guys that are not even there anymore. You know, like Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. But how about this for a story? Did you guys see the promo between MJF and Jeff Jarrett this week?
I saw the line that people are getting upset about, but I didn't watch the full promo.
Which line would that be? Because there was many lines.
Sorry. The mention of Owen Hart, and then people saying that that it's okay for AEW to mention it, but WWE can't have him in the Hall of Fame.
Right. That's true. That's a good point. Reezy, did you see it?
I've seen bits and pieces of it. This isn't anything new for MJF. I didn't see anything wrong with it. To me, it's all this is entertainment.
Yeah.
I'm sure they rehearsed this in the back. If Jeff had a problem with it, I'm very sure he would have tweeted about it or said it on his pod. I trust me. If anybody's familiar with Jeff's career, if he had a problem with it, he would have said something about it, and we would have heard about it. So since we haven't heard Jeff have any problem with it, well, why does he care about what we have to say?
Right.
Why? You know what I mean? People, a lot of these fans complain about stuff that goes on the show, and I always say, did the other guy have a problem with it? Did we hear him speak on it? So until Jeff say something about it, you know, I don't see anything wrong with it.
I'm going to go over it real quick. Just the things that I thought stuck out at the time. Other than that, it was pretty much a roast battle. That's what it was. Like one of those types of promos, just a back and forth. Nobody actually is looking to do anything to each other. But so Double J or MJF, like I said, he starts his stand-up roast, calls Jarrett the pro wrestling Grim Reaper a few times over in a few different ways. Brings up his drinking, his rehab. You know, that Double J, he does. I've seen it myself. He likes to drink a lot and then throw tortillas into a Mexican crowd of pro wrestling fans. One of my favorite gimmicks. You know, I like real stuff. And he was being super real there. He was like, here's some tostadas and things. Right into the drunk as fuck. He managed to wrestle the match better than Jeff Hardy did when he was, you know, whatever that was. I don't even know what he was on. I've never even heard of the Jeff Hardy stuff. You know, I'm not that hardcore, but yep. Then he brought up his MILF wife, Karen, and how he was just gonna, you know, raw dog her and do all this stuff and put the ball. Jeff Jarrett was gonna taste his balls and things when he sent them back to him. And then Jeff Jarrett played it cool. He goes, I've heard this all before. You know, it was his time to do his little rap battle deal. And then he was like, I still have passion for this business. And, you know, the crowd gives me this. And then he just goes on and on and on. I was just like you and blah, blah, blah. You kind of weren't, not necessarily on the mic. MJF's pretty good at this, Jeff Jarrett. So I wouldn't have said that. You are good, but, you know, chill out with that. And said, what's his name there? MJF. She called him a one-hit wonder. Like I said, after a while, then it starts getting like blurry. And here's a great part. So they start fighting because of the Owen Hart. He brings up Owen Hart at one point, and Jarrett's beating him up. Karen then comes in, right? And then MJF grabs Karen and holds her as like a human shield. And the whole crowd like gasped. It was hilarious to me. He like grabs her as a human shield and then throws her at him and then runs. Like, you remember how The Miz, one of his last title runs, would just like sprint out of arenas so he didn't have to fight people? That's how MJF ran out. And it was great. I was like, that saved the whole thing for me. Not like it was bad, but, you know, I don't mind the roast battle. People were like, did they go too far? Did they just, you know, every low-hanging fruit they can get? You know, that's kind of MJF's thing, right? It's kind of Jeff Jarrett's thing. Let him do it. Who cares? But ending that way is, put it in the positive for me, anyway. So.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too offensive. I think the most distasteful thing that's happened in AEW regarding Owen Hart was that first time Tony Khan came out with his missus, and he's got the link in arms, and Tony's like, hi, everyone, look what I've done. Aren't I bloody great? Look what a king I am. Look how I've got on television. We're going to do it right. And it's just like, you smug, fart-sniffing prick, Tony. Piss off. It's just worse than Vince. Like, worse than Vince. At least Vince was just sort of like, yeah, look, I'm just going to get all these sick children to like just parade around, and we're going to film it and make us look real cool and charitable. Whereas Tony's like, I'm not like that, you guys. I'm completely different. By the way, here's Owen Hart's widow. Let's all feel bad for on television. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Sasha Reigns, what question did you want answered here? Was it this? If he isn't at work, who do they get rid of? Because they have a lot. If he isn't at work, what were we talking about there?
You're
Corey
talking about
and-
the Pat McAfee and Corey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then who do they get rid of? Because a lot of announcers or wrestlers? Get rid of all of them. How about that?
Yeah. Take Pat off the table and let him be like a hype man to get the crowd warmed up, because they can still pop for him at the beginning of a show and they can still get really excited when they go to commercial, and just have Corey on the table. That just seems like a really nice, natural fit. Because then Pat doesn't have to do too much, and then you don't have to get too annoyed with him.
So you're calling him a fluffer?
Yeah, if you want, yeah, call him that, or a hype man, or whatever. He's still a part of the WWE if he did that.
It pains me every time people say that. Why do these people? Why does like Pat McAfee and Sam Roberts and who's the other guy I don't like on there? Peter Rosenberg.
Yeah, Greg Oliver too. He's terrible.
Which one's Greg Oliver?
He was the one that was in video games before, and now he does that. I don't know if he's doing it on the network now because the network's not there. But there was like a what the hell, or it was.
I'm sure if I seen him, I would know who he is.
Yeah, he's only relatively recently come on board, but yeah, he was doing like a WTF moment type sort of like Botchamania. I can't even really describe what it was, but he's shite. He was in video games before, and he
stinks, huh?
Yeah, he just seems like one of these plastic guys that just reads teleprompters. He's not really fussed about what industry he gets into, as long as he can get into an industry and be a television personality. Like a lot of them, like we've discussed before, I feel like a lot of the ladies that come in and do that, just pretty lass, can read, can go for an auto cue, and if she wasn't doing wrestling, she'd be doing football or American football or hockey or whatever.
Oh, we got plenty of that over here,
yeah.
Danny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Plenty.
Fair enough if that's what you are, but then don't just be like, oh yeah, I've loved wrestling for 40 years, and it's like, you're 25, love, shut up.
Yeah. It's been my dream. Remember that story that we've been listening to forever? And that's just the wrestlers themselves.
Yeah, my favorite wrestler was Eddie Guerrero. Yeah, so was everybody's. Everybody that's like become a wrestler in the last 10 years, that's on the bingo card.
It's my dream. I finally made it. And I've been wanting this. I would hear some of them be like, I wanted this for the past 6 years. I'm like, you fucking kidding me? 6 years? Since I was 10. It's like, wow, this doesn't make any sense. My math must be completely off, but I'm telling you, it's something like that. It was bad. And they were all doing that. It stunk. All right. I need you guys' takes on Penta, because that was the big debut that happened recently. And Reezy, what'd you think? You like Penta?
Well, I was very happy to see Penta. The entrance from his entrance was amazing. I'll give him that. But the match went way too long. I felt the match went way too long as it needed to go. I felt there was no reason he should have went that long. And it's no disrespect to Chad Gable, but if this is a debut of somebody like Pentagon Jr., I felt like not necessarily a squash match, but it shouldn't have been no more than 5 minutes. He should have just beat Chad, and it should have been over. And that's just my opinion. But as far as everything else goes, I mean, he came out there and the crowd went nuts. I mean, the entrance was good. The music, I'm sure they'll change the music. The music could have been better, but the entrance was great. I mean, he came to that ring. People was excited to see him. He was over. I mean, he was over in the match. Even though I said I didn't like the match, so he was over in the match. But just felt the match should have been a bit shorter.
How about that promo they cut in Spanish? Did you get all that?
Yeah, I got all that. That show, that right there is how every foreign talent should be booked.
Yes.
I feel like foreign talent speaking their own language, kind of like Shinsuke Nakamura started doing very late in his career, it makes them look more intimidating. Fans like that when they be themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of forcing them to speak English.
Mm.
It helps with the flow as well, doesn't it? They don't stop and they're not having to like. You can't see them translating in their head whilst also trying to cut a promo and maintain the body language. And yeah, if they get to speak the native tongue, it flows so much nicer. I do prefer it in the pre-film, so you can just get subtitles, so everybody knows what's being said instantly, even though it is in a different language. But if it's a live promo in a ring, people are like, I'm going to have to wait for this guy to finish talking before then the translator speaks. I can see why they'd avoid that for television and for live purposes, but it is so much better when they get to speak their own language.
Yeah. Hey, can you guys hear my samples?
No. Oh, I heard.
No? I just played one there.
It sounded like there's a television on in the room next door.
Oh, okay.
I could hear something very slightly.
All right. Why isn't this working today? Let's try it now. Can you guys hear this?
Try again?
No?
No.
No, you guys can't hear that, huh?
No.
Ah, shit. So I've been pressing all these buttons and nobody hears them.
Oh, yeah. No. I'm sorry.
Wow, what's going on? There isn't anything else to click on here. What the hell? That's pretty much. There's 3 different audio things. No, a little bit of the bubbly. Can't even play that. All right, we did that one. We're gonna go through all 3 of them right now, everybody. Here's the default. No, that's not working apparently. Let me know if you hear Chris Jericho.
I heard a little bit of the bubbly very, very, very quietly then.
Wow, and why? This is crazy. Everything doesn't work around here for some reason. Yep, they can. Nobody can hear it. I can hear it. So everybody should hear this. This is, oh my God. So obnoxious. All this tech stuff. It's been working, lately. I didn't notice it gone the other night. Here, I'm going to do something real quick. Very drastic. I'm going to shut the whole mixer off and I'm going to turn it on. Hold on, everybody. One moment. Okay, you can hear me.
Yep.
But you can't hear Dean Ambrose.
I could hear that something was playing very, very, very quietly, but I couldn't make out what it was.
Unbelievable. I'm only going to give this one more go, and then we're moving on, because I guess it's not that important.
No, nothing. Sorry.
And...
same. Nothing.
Wow.
No.
Okay. That's weird. So I got all that stuff turned on for nothing. God, I hate this. Hate this so much. I hate this show. Hate this. I hate my life. Right? Nothing ever works. These stupid computers. It's like the year 2025. We're like way into the future. Hoverboards came out in 2015. I don't know if you guys remember, if you're an 80s kid, but yeah, that was 2015 where hoverboards came out, and I can't even hear I can hear my samples, but nobody else. Stinks. It's the shits. I've been playing the shits this whole time. All right. Anyway, back to the wrestling.
Yeah. Captain Hand Gestures. He's going to do really good selling merchandise. Penta, that is. But yeah, like Reese said, that match was way too long. I've said before, hand gestures are like most of his moveset, which take up way too much time. He needs to cut that crap out. But yeah, if he's going to make an impactful debut, it should be a shorter match. I always say this about AEW. All of their debuts, or at least the first 4 years worth of debuts, were just flat as farts. Because they weren't impactful. They bring them in for like 20-minute bangers. And it's like, that's not what you want to see for someone's debut. You want to see their power level. You want to see them come in, either smash someone like confidently or get a little sneaky roll up on someone like Chad Gable in 5 minutes to be like, there you go. I can do it if you get, if I catch you off guard, because then that's not too much off of Gable's personality or of his status, but it just shows the other guy can do stuff if given the opportunity. And yeah, if you go too long with it, it just makes both guys look a bit mediocre.
Yep. You and Reezy nailed it. That's exactly my thoughts. Yeah, I mean, it's you gotta beat the guy pretty quickly if you're debuting.
Especially with a debut. With a debut like that,
yep.
You don't want the match to go too long.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, what's Gable got to lose right now? He's been being fed he was fed to the Wyatt Six, and nobody likes them right now.
Yeah, but he forgot just like caught off guard with a roll up by a guy who he doesn't know. He's not been able to research or anything like that. That's his out. It's like, oh, well, I didn't know I was against him. It could have been anybody. And then the next time they have a match, then they have the 15, 20 minute. Oh, that was a bit closer.
Mm-hmm. What are we making over there, Reezy? Are you making a sandwich by chance? I know I can hear myself.
Making a sandwich, that's funny.
Turn your radio down, caller. Turn your radio down.
Oh, you're not getting those bloody ball game tickets.
Exactly.
But
you want to go to Ozfest this year? You better turn your radio down, Reezy.
All right. But I will say this about Pentagon Jr. He looked great.
Mm.
He looked great, and I guarantee.
Not in the Diddy way, right? Let's just clear this up. Not in the Diddy way.
He looked great. I think that a lot of guys in AEW, a lot of talent in AEW was looking at that and saying, hey, the grass may be greener on the other side.
Mm-hmm. I think it's done.
Yeah, and not just that. And not just the grass greener on that side. With this, and we also wanted to jump to this new partnership with TNA and WWE. They're going to look at that too and say, hey, I can go be a star in TNA and also show up on WWE. That's a win-win for me.
Mm-hmm. This is what Coach has been waiting for in the chat. He wants to hear all our takes on this partnership between TNA, WWE, which is mainly, to me, it's a partnership between TNA and NXT. That's really what it is. And
I think it's going to move to the main roster later on. I think in the future it'll move to the main roster. But right now it's NXT and TNA.
Yep. I mean, here's some names. Slamovich. Of course, we've already seen her at NXT. But you think Ziggler could come back home?
Yeah, I think he can.
That's interesting.
I mean, he left on good terms. I mean, why not?
You know, I'd like to see Moose.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Moose. Yeah, man.
Who else? I'm thinking right now. Well, Tessa Blanchard. I mean, isn't she the champ right now, Coach?
No. No, she doesn't hold the title right now.
Mm-hmm. But she probably will shortly.
Oh, yeah, I can see Tessa showing up.
Yeah.
Ethan Page's old tag partner. I've forgotten his chuffing name.
Josh Alexander?
As I said,
yeah,
surname from the North. They were a great tag team as the North.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Alexander went off and did singles. He got a singles title, which I could see that. 'Cause they just sort of like sold them as like, I suppose, a bit like Kurt and The Rock, just as a tag team. Like one would work in the ring and just stretch the shit out of people, whereas like Ethan Page was on the outside, just with that real slappable face, and he knew how to aggravate a crowd, and they had similar sort of person, a similar dynamic as like if Kurt Angle, and The Rock had been put as a tag team on something. So they did their own thing. They weren't just like purely ripping them off, but I like the dynamic they had.
What do you think about the pay-per-view that they're having tomorrow? Coach is alerting me of. Do you guys even know? I think it's Tessa Blanchard and Jordan Grace for the title, right? I think she wins it tomorrow.
It's definitely that. I will be watching that pay-per-view. But it's a good pay-per-view, a good match card.
How about this one? The Hardy Boys coming back home.
Yeah, I could see the Hardy Boys coming in
Yeah.
and winning the NXT titles, NXT tag titles. That'll be cool.
Yep. And they could sell so many T-shirts and hats and
Yeah.
them. What are them things that Jeff Hardy used to wear? I don't even know what you would call those. The things on his forearms.
Arm tights. I don't know.
Arm tights and sell all of it. Yep. I heard that Jeff
the
Hardy.
Hardy Boys has always been money. They've always. I remember Jeff Hardy was just huge when we were younger, man.
Huge. He said in a story recently that he thinks, if he wasn't like so tied up in drugs and things, that he would have been bigger than John Cena. And I'm thinking to myself, he probably would have.
Jeff Hardy? Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Hardy was huge. I remember when we had that match with the Undertaker on SmackDown, that ladder match. Everybody wanted everybody wanted Jeff Hardy to win the belt.
Yep.
I remember
I was
even angry. People were pissed that the Undertaker won.
Yep. And then we got Joe Hendry versus Dolph at the pay-per-view, as Sasha Reigns is alerting us to. I love me some Joe Hendry. Yeah. And he was on NXT this past year. Great stuff. Got close to the title. Of course, didn't win it. But, he's killing it. He's doing it out here.
It'll be cool to get... You know what? It'll be cool to get Joe Hendry to do a cameo of him opening up our pod.
We need that. He can sing about how you eat on cam.
That would be great.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves. And when I tune in the podcast and I watch people eat on cam, which, believe it or not, it's most podcasts these days. Everybody's eating on cam. It blows my mind, And I always there's a guy out there that does like a basketball analysis and stuff, but he kind of keeps it funny. AOH, shout out to AOH, and that motherfucker eats on cam every show. And I let him know. I'm like, you're eating. How come you're not eating on cam right now? I'm like, what's going on? Yep.
Oh, wow.
Just like the indie wrestlers, Reezy, that's you. You guys love eating on cam and AOH.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And even more stuff. We're going to hear from Chris here, letting us know Rosemary versus Masha for the Knockouts title House of Fun match. And they just showed Masha to the world on NXT recently, so I don't foresee her losing it.
They introduced the world to Masha. Masha's going to be a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Masha Slamovich. That's what I call her. It's a better name too. Don't steal it from me, TNA. Have you ever seen Slamovich, Danny?
I've not seen a match actually, but I've seen the little clip just showing off who she is. So
yeah, here's a story.
I'm very intrigued into what they're going to do with TNA though, because I did like TNA once upon a time.
I'm very intrigued to see where this goes. This is coming from a TNA fan. I feel like a lot of talent that WWE isn't using or has plans for, including on the main roster, they can send over to TNA. And a lot of TNA's top guys that WWE are interested in, they don't have to sign them big contracts. They could just pay them half that, you know what I mean? And just cross them over. And it'll be a win-win for each show.
Yep, it's perfect.
Everybody's going to make more money doing this. This gets TNA a bigger TV deal and gets them more profit to where they can get big money like an AEW or WWE, and they can get back to where they were in their prime.
Yep. NXT, to me, I've always liked it. I know a lot of people have been falling off lately. I don't think it's been as great as it's been. It's been very much a women's show, like the past couple of months.
Yeah.
And it's because their roster really is super deep, and they got to put all these people on here, So, again, cut down on some of these rosters. You know, there's too many. There's just too many wrestlers. Too many wrestlers.
Too many wrestlers on these rosters, man.
Yep. Too many shows.
You know,
too much time on the shows now.
Yeah.
We're talking about now. When you think about it, we're back to a 3-hour show, and if you're just Raw and SmackDown, and now a 2.5-hour show, so that's more than ever. That Raw and SmackDown were just 5 hours. Now we got an extra half hour automatically tagged on. Sometimes it could be a whole hour tagged on. So,
and then 1 in 4 weeks is a pay-per-view week, so there's an extra 3 hours, 4 hours if you include the free pre-show, 5 if you include like the scrum afterwards, and 6 if you include like all the hype and the media shit they do before the pre-show. Yeah, so it is excessive.
I mean, there should be no more than 50 people on each show.
Yeah. It's gotten out of hand.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to the point, I'm watching SmackDown last night, and I'm like, this is such a filler show. Everything they've showed me, and even if it's just filler, it's like, or like you show Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio's in San Diego. He gets a pop and all this. And Kevin Owens comes out, starts what eventually becomes one of the main events, where he takes on Rey Mysterio, and it's just, you know, it's so, you can tell that it's just filler. It's not the important stuff is on Monday Night Raw, and SmackDown is for the mid card and the low card, and then they're going to stretch it and give them more time and allow them to almost like, it's worse than NXT in my opinion. This version of SmackDown that I see what they're trying to do, because it's just NXT people that they like generally. Now on that roster, now they're trying to find something for them to do to become good, quote unquote, and then be put on the real show, which is Monday.
Yeah.
But SmackDown, the filler show, is 3 hours. The good show is 2.5.
That could be.
Switch it up.
No. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, Triple H has said, you know, Triple H has said for Monday Night Raw, they don't have a time schedule. So they can go as long as they want on Netflix. So he says sometimes the show could be 2.5 hours. Sometimes it could be 3 hours. He said whatever works best for the show, but he does not like the 3 hour thing. He had said that, but that's good for Monday Night Raw. But I think in the future, everything's going to move to Netflix, and I'll keep saying that.
Can anybody see the way that they're doing SmackDown, which is still fine? They're putting on just fine, good the U.S. title deals. Chelsea Green's out there. You got, like I said, Kevin Owens, Mysterio. There are things happening and going on. LA Knight and, Solo and all this business that happened last night. I'm kind of just going to be touching on a lot of things that happened last night. But Solo comes out after Jacob and Tama Tonga come out. And they come out first. Solo comes out. Like I said, it just feels like so much filler. There was nothing like really happening. A lot of entrances and people coming out. He comes out, grabs a microphone. Everybody boos. Nothing happens. He doesn't say anything. He tries it again. Everybody boos. So he gets out of the ring and walks away slowly. Eventually, Jacob takes the mic. He cuts a promo. And LA Knight eventually runs in, fights with the Bloodline. Braun Strowman then runs in. Now he's involved with the Bloodline and all this. It's, you know what? It's not the shits. It's just boring. You understand what I'm saying? It's not bad, but it's certainly not good. I'm not like, wow, oh my God, I can't believe, it's the whole 3 hours. Even Tiffy with Bailey, the main event, the match. I know Tiffany's going to win. Everybody knows Tiffany's going to win. She put on a nice little performance. It was a cool match. It went on 20 plus minutes, which a main event should for a championship. That's the one good thing I think about. like I said, them having the 3 hours is they get to push all their talent that they have out there. But again, it gives me another reason to just be like, can you cut some of these people? What are we doing? Why is BFAB out here again? And no, this ain't nothing against BFAB. It's just I understand she's so low in the totem pole that they're teaming her up with Meechin, who I'm like also like, all right, we've done this, we've seen this. Haven't you seen enough? There's a million other chicks in NXT right now that could easily replace them and some of the people that you're giving more time to. Where's Liv? Where's Rhea? Where's everybody? Maybe they're on Raw. I'm always confused by that part, but just in general, get rid of some of these people. But do we really need a 3-hour SmackDown? Really?
I would send a lot of these people to TNA.
Yes.
Cross them over to TNA because I like Meechin, but they're not doing much with her. I think BFAB has potential. You send those two and a couple people over to TNA for the crossover, which will probably happen if they're smart. That leaves a lot of space for you to use a lot of the talent that, you know what I mean? That brings more to the show. So yeah, I mean, I'm down for that.
Yep, I'm with you, Sasha Reigns. Where is Blair? Where is Kiana James? Like I said, I think Kiana James is going to be coming in with Charlotte because they're both them helicopter type girls, business women, boss bitches. They like being boss bitches, especially Charlotte. Where's the video here? Look at that! I found Ric Flair in the. This is the actual picture, folks, of Ric Flair on the plane ride from hell, swinging his dick helicopter style. And we all figured that out last weekend, right, guys? That the reason why all the Flairs use the helicopter gimmick is because of this. Is because Ric Flair does his helicopter gimmick. Oh, let me scream over Easy here for a second. He's making more meals, I think.
Cooking with Reezy.
You're doing great.
Flair,
you're doing just.
I see Ric Flair coming back, man.
Yeah, keep it down, everybody. Yep. You see Ric Flair coming back and winning the title for the 18th time to keep it away from his daughter and Cena? Is that what you just said?
I see Ric Flair coming back, not for the 18th time. I hope it's not that. I see him coming back, managing his daughter, maybe doing some segments. It wouldn't surprise me. I hope not, because they say Hogan's going to be back a lot more. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do some stuff with him and Hogan.
The brother dude.
Flair gets himself into trouble, though. He managed Charlotte a few years ago, didn't he? And then he just... Wasn't he chatting up the last... I mean, you'd expect that. It's Ric Flair, but some people were surprised that he was, like, just chatting up the lasses or getting close. And then they started to put an angle together where he was, like, flirting with Becky Lynch, I think it was. And it's just...
Remember Ric Flair had sex with... What's her name? I love that chick, brother. What's her name?
Halle Halle Berry.
No. Ric Flair, when he was in WWE, right at the end, was getting it on with who, Sasha Reigns? What's her name?
Lacey Evans.
Lacey Evans. He impregnated her. Remember that?
Yeah. It wasn't Becky Lynch. It was Lacey Evans. That was it. Because that was the... I even said... of all the lasses on the roster, you've gone for the one that looks like your daughter the most. If they said, "Oh, we need someone to do like an imitation Charlotte Flair for like Dark Side of the Ring," you'd probably get someone like Lacey Evans. But that was the one that they put into a storyline with him that he impregnated. That was a bit, yeah. I didn't like that, to be honest.
I loved it. I don't know, he gave me something to laugh at. It was so absurd. And the whole, like, Charlotte was actually, like, seemed, like, irritated with the whole thing, like, for real, So when this whole gimmick's going, she's probably going to work like, you kidding me? My father's still around and not taking my spotlight, in my prime. And he's also going to put over the chick that I don't think that they liked each other. And even if they did and they smiled at each other backstage and all this stuff and whatever, I don't think that they were like friends. You understand? Like Charlotte's, I think, has a cliquey group, like most pro wrestlers, even these days. And I never caught the sense when they were in the ring together that they liked each other. So when she joined up with Ric Flair, I knew. I was like, this is not good for business, because they're going to be even more bitchy to each other. And then, you know, look at where we are now. Lacey Evans isn't even in the business at all. And I think she wasn't a great wrestler by any means, but she was big and she was strong and she would take bumps.
I mean,
and I
wasn't
think
a bad.
she could have turned into something.
Yep.
Right.
Definitely.
She could have been something. Lacey wasn't a bad wrestler. I just think it was just
the Trump and stuff doesn't help her.
Politics,
you know, not even like it's Trump. Stuff. It's that whole like conservative aura that she has. The kids are just like, they hated her.
She was also getting the Vince push as well. Vince really liked her. See also Austin Theory. He was getting the big my egg push. But then once Vince disappeared, people were like, yeah, the kid's okay, but we don't have the same sort of like throbber that Vince has for him. So we're just going to stick him with someone that's exactly the same as him. And that can be that. They'll just be a tag team of like twins, but not twins.
Oh, he's in limbo too. But you know what? This is the one thing I totally get what Vince is going for here. You don't have to be a Diddy to notice that Austin Theory is a good-looking guy, right? Like, I can say it and be like, well, I'm, you know, obviously I'm very, very heterosexual, everybody, just so we know. But you know, he comes out there, he's got like 20 abs, and he has his face. Basically, if you need to look, everything has to be proportional. You understand what I'm saying? Like and he's very proportioned, got abs. Same thing with Finn Balor. It's like, was he an ugly dude? I wouldn't assume that. Roman Reigns, you know, me, of course, you know. That's how you know if you're dead on, is if you're like, well, this Dr. Huge, you know. But yeah, what was my point? I had a point. Well, here's a good point. You're bringing up Kiana James, and I will always talk about her. I guess Kiana James will be back after her boob job heals. Are they really giving her a boob job? I wouldn't even put it past them. Most of them take it. She shouldn't have to take it. I could see her doing that. But she doesn't. She don't need a boob job. Cora Jade didn't need a boob job. You know, like, they're so stupid, these big tits. I
don't even know who this person is, but I'm just going to boo it. It's just, none of them do, especially when you're in a combat sport. I know it's not like legitimate fighting, but didn't Charlotte burst one of hers in the last few years?
Yeah. Yep.
So it's just another thing to go wrong, and that, you need to look. Yeah, well, you don't even need to look nice, but people want to look nice on television. But you don't. Yeah, you don't need to do that. You look nice doing that now, but you're not like pretending to fight with people and trying to convince me that you're in a fight.
You push them together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
I was
shame
thinking
that
about
I
it.
can take time off.
I might have to take some time off from this podcast and get some big fake titties. And I think we would definitely get more views. Yeah. Right, Reezy? You'd like that.
Oh,
Reezy,
definitely. You know, actually, I was just going to tell you, too, I'm going to add you guys to this group chat that I have. It has
called Big Titties?
Where's this going?
It has about 100 people in it. So when you get ready to do the podcast, you just send a link in there. I'm sure a lot of them will retweet and like and stuff like that. So,
Hey, as long as they like them BFTs, bro. I don't like how LA Knight stole that. Now he calls his finisher the BFT. I don't think so. Unless you're going to throw like a bunch of titties in somebody's face. It's the only way that would make sense. Get it? Big FTs. Get it, guys? Yeah, everybody gets it. It's a knee slapper, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love back to Kiana. You know, I'm a big fan of Kiana and Jada Parker.
Jada Parker's nice. Jada Parker's nice. I don't like her attitude a little bit. Her attitude, it's a little too aggressive for Dr. Huge. I like my wrestlers, my female wrestlers to be a little more feminine. Like,
yeah, I think Jada Parker's gonna be champ next. I think she's gonna win probably the North American title, one of the North American title. Or
what about now though? She's having problems here in the internets with crazy people.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I don't understand about social media is people take the time and day not just to care or what people's doing in their personal lives, but also it's like they went out their way all because she liked a message on social media.
Mm-hmm.
If you like or retweet something, people will go look at that and say, "You retweeted that. We're gonna cyberbully you."
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a retweet and like. Who cares what another person is into? Who cares what another person's opinion is? How does that affect your life?
Yep. Some people out here, I don't know if you've noticed, they like to try to get a gang together and go, right, guys? I'm offended that this person has this opinion, so let's all get him. This has been attempted on me many a times, and then everybody usually just looks at the person that tries to do it, especially after I like retweet it, and I'm like, come after me, come get me. I'm right here, come get me, everybody. Well, we'll talk this out. I'll answer everybody if I have the time, right? But usually it doesn't work that way. Maybe I'm not famous enough yet. I got to get to that point where like everybody gets upset about every little thing I say. They don't seem to be that upset yet. We're working on it. Trust me, we'll make you upset, okay? And then I'll have everybody's attention because that's how this goes now, right? But this is one angle on it, the engagement farming, where I have to be ridiculous and stupid and say the worst things in the world, the most offensive, vulgar things to get any reaction from you numbnuts, right? If I'm just nice and great and, oh, this is good, I like this, and this person's doing great, and that person's doing great, and I love this. You know what that gets me? Nothing. Nobody gives a shit. They act like I'm literally out here just typing nothing, saying nothing, doing nothing. And I'm not here to be doing nothing. So I guess I'm getting forced into and pigeonholed into being a douche like the rest of you. So I have to be douchey. I have to come up with wrong takes to make everybody go, no, 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 you're wrong, or else I get no engagement. See how I flip that on its head? Now it's all about this now. I don't want an engagement farm, but I'm gonna have to. I don't want to do reaction videos, but that's where the money is. Come on, people. Reaction videos stink. All this stuff stinks. The internet stinks now. Video games, movies. This is a new day and age. We're taking it all back, right? Power to the people, like Dr. Huge and things. Get liking and subscribing and sharing. 29 people, eat my ass.
Yeah, I've tried to do reaction stuff before, but it's bloody painful. I don't mind the conversation stuff. That works well, but yeah, and there's so many people that just do fake reaction stuff. They've watched something 3 or 4 times. They write down what they're going to do. It's just oh, I didn't see that, and it's just they who can do the biggest reaction just gets the most likes, and you've just got to like jump off your chair and make a tit of yourself, and then the next person's got to top that and just be even more ridiculous, and then it's just a competition in daftness.
Yep, I'm going to be complaining about this stuff forever, King Razy. I'm not hating on the players necessarily. I'm hating on the entire game. Why do people like this stuff? How come I can't be seen out here? I have to like individually tweet out my people so they can see something, because I don't know if they will. They might not, right? This is the world I'm living in. Why am I so restricted with all this? And everybody else can play videos and react to it. I play a video, I get a copyright strike, and they take my video off. I watch Superman, it's gone. How is this fair? What do I have to do? Where's the dick to suck so I can get ahead here, everybody? Where is it? I know somebody's gagging on it right now. Just help a brother out. Retweet this and like this and share this. That's the only way you can do it. Go to my Teespring store, right? Right, Reezy?
Damn
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Retweet, like, and share.
Or you could go to Disney and get in the line, wait for Bill Burr to finish, and then just find the mouse, and just please that mouse and get some of that Disney money.
Oh, it's
that
the
sweet
mouse.
Disney money.
Yep. I
I
should
think
have
that.
known.
Yeah, I think that's what's causes problems. Maybe.
Yep.
But
ESPN got the mouse. Yeah. Sports leader.
Everything's owned by that bloody mouse now.
Oh, here's a random news note about wrestling. And I was just thinking about this the other night. I'm watching wrestling lately the past few months, and I've noticed this trend where wrestlers are signing autographs in the crowd. Now, first, I was kind of annoyed by it because I'm just, I'm not annoyed by the wrestlers signing it, obviously. I'm annoyed by the people bringing things specifically to get signed. I'm not like an autographed hound, even though I have many autographs and things. They're worthless. Autographs are completely fucking worthless, by the way. Good luck selling those. But
it's just
I
a
have
piece of paper with a name on it. It works.
right.
Nothing.
It's cool if you like memorabilia. Like some people have been by the studio and stuff. They're blown away by some stuff, and I'm like, it's just whatever. But them signing the autograph in the crowd. Bailey did it last night going into the championship match, and it just snapped. I went, oh wow, this is really good for business. It makes them look like such superstars by them sign one thing. I remember Orton several months ago when he was during a pay-per-view or something came out, and I believe he signed something. Somebody was pushing something in the crowd while he's walking down, and then he signs it, and he goes to walk away, and they're like, throw something else in front of his face, like, yeah, sign this too, and he's like, get out of here. I just signed one thing. But it just reminded me of all that. Do you guys recognize that this is happening lately?
I've not seen it as frequently, but I have seen it happen. I think everyone just wants their own little Bret Hart sunglasses bit, and if you don't have merchandise to hand off, then just sign something. But then you get people bringing really silly things to get signed. If it's just like, here's a bit of paper, here's my autograph book. Remember those? We used to actually get autograph books. But yeah,
it's true. The autograph books.
Someone's just going to bring a photograph to get signed and then just sell it on eBay, and
it's too bad.
It's not worth as much as people think. It's worth a lot to the individual, especially if you've got a story. Like, oh yeah, I saw the Ultimate Warrior at the airport when I was 10 once, and I got him to sign the back of my boarding pass, and I've got my boarding pass framed, and it reminds me of that day. That's very valuable to that person. But to someone on eBay, that's worth shit.
Yeah. Reezy, ever get any? You've been to these things. You ever get autographs or anything?
Yeah, I used to. It's been a while, but I go to indie shows all the time, and I used to get autographs, and I stopped because a piece of paper is just a piece of paper. It's just a piece of paper with a name on it, and it just sits around by your house and just collects dust.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth anything. Now, if you bring something of your own, like a toy or something like that, then maybe you're getting somewhere. But I kind of started saving money, and I'll do the picture. I'll take a picture with somebody, but that's about it. Maybe buy a T-shirt, but
I gotta get my Hogan signed.
I don't need an autograph.
Right here in the butt cheek where it's all
Shout out to Heather Goats, by the way.
Yep, she's got a question. The question for tomorrow is, who is 23? That's like their their latest Pentagon number. Who could it be? You know what?
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Who do you think?
No, I was just gonna say, I think it's somebody brand new coming in. It could be Cruel from MLW. Kruger. This is a guy named Kruger. Reminds me a lot of Kane.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be him, or but we'll have to wait and see. I have no idea. I think it's a stable. It's definitely a stable, but we'll have to wait and see.
Baron Corbin, or has this been going on too long, or whatever?
This has been going on before the Baron Corbin thing.
Damn, no Baron. Pat McAfee.
Just a bunch of vignettes.
Maybe him.
Pat McAfee.
He can fit his head in the TNA arena there. Because it's really big, guys. His head's so big, and then he's got that face, and I'm just like, come on, like really better than Corey Graves? Really, Reezy, better than Corey Graves? You say?
I do like him better.
Get out of here. See, I gave him a chance. He's still acting like he likes him.
He walked straight into that. He walked straight into that.
All right,
he does love me. He brought me back.
Right,
he brought me back.
I had to.
But you know what? I will say I do want Corey Graves. Whether he stays or not, I do want to see more of Corey Graves. If he's not with WWE, I can see him. I don't want him to go to AEW. That is a nightmare. I want him to go work. Just go work for Corgan. Go work for Billy Corgan in the NWA. You know, go do some commentating for them, or go do some commentating. MLW can use some commentators. Their commentators suck. So he'll be perfect for MLW. So yeah.
Now they're just mainly on YouTube, right? MLW.
Yeah, they're mainly on YouTube. So I mean, it'll be a lower platform for him, but it's something if he wants to stick with wrestling.
Wade Barrett was on NWA as an announcer as well, right?
Wade Barrett, yeah, I think he was. Yeah, a while back, a long time ago, he wasn't. Yeah. And
Jim Cornette, of course, had a sandwich there, and then made an Ethiopian joke, and they kicked him right out because they can't handle one stupid joke. And it wasn't about being black; it was about being hungry and skinny. Like, come on. It was so lame.
They were waiting for him.
I think people just misinterpreted the joke
intentionally.
Yeah. They hate Jim Cornette. The they is I'm talking about quite literally, I guess.
Yeah. There was a they that was in charge or was very close to Dave Lagana before he disappeared at the beginning of that, and he vanished under shady circumstances as well, didn't he?
Which is he still does his pod. He still has his pod, so
because Corny's like super liberal.
Yeah.
It like doesn't make sense to me why he would be hated, but it shows me nobody gets it. Like nobody's really getting what's going on, and that's why they think I'm like the most evil person in the world when I have an opinion about one thing or another, which is always the right opinion, by the way. I'm always having the correct opinion, and I agree with the Team A and Team B on separate things, and everybody thinks I'm crazy because I'm not aligning 100% with what everybody wants, right? And that's just so. Again, I can't stand this. I hate this world. Can't hate my life. I hate all this because it's all your fault out here, right? It's not my fault. I'm doing a stupid comedy wrestling podcast. I'm not trying to fix the world, but I actually notice and understand what's going on. Nobody likes it. So start liking it, people. And I think certain things are going to get crammed down people's throats. That's what it's very upsetting.
Pro wrestling's good at that,
Yep. It's very good at that too. Just like the cult
loves cramming things down people's throats.
The cultiness of it all. Everybody who agrees like this from this wrestling realm now is over here. And if you have to believe everything that these people that like pro wrestling too. I see the kids doing this stuff. And it's generally younger kids. The older people, we're not getting caught up in feuds and things. But I'm seeing all kinds of feuds popping up online from nobodies. You don't even do a show. Like, at least do a show and have a feud and have some drama and things laced around this. You're just a fucking guy on Twitter or something. Like, grow up. I'm speaking to a lot of
but
different
if they're not going out, I'm stuttering now, I think.
Oh, no, you're good. I can hear you.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, you're good. I can hear you. Come on. Give me those takes, Danny. He's like, I can't see you at all. I can't hear you at all. Hold on, let me try kicking him out and bringing him back in. More technical difficulties, Reezy. That's how we roll around here. Now he's frozen. At least he's smiling.
At least we can we hear him?
No. Speak to us.
I can hear you. I can just. I am still here.
He's slightly behind. Yep. You're just slightly behind on video. Right. That's fine.
Yeah. I think that's caught up now. I was going to say, if people aren't going out to pubs or bars or going out to like public-facing workplaces or just intermingling with lots of different people that aren't just going to either agree with you or disagree with you, those sorts of people are sort of like, they're not as reactionary because they're used to hearing varying opinions. Whereas if you are of the age where you don't go out as much and you do spend a lot more time online, all you're going to really see is people agreeing or people disagreeing, and that's it. You don't get that grey area in the middle. So I think that's why a lot of people are just immediately reacting and then just like, oh, well, you disagree with me, so that's just like a massive no, and you're telling me this. And then people like start thinking that words are violence and words can actually hurt you, and we've got very thin skin nowadays.
And it brings me to this Snoop Dogg situation, because he performed at the inaugural ball of Trump, I guess, last night. And along with Nelly and a few others that shouldn't be doing it because they look like Dr. Huge or Reezy. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to have opinions or doing things. But I'll tell you this much. I agree with both sides on this one. Everybody's going to love me for this take because it's the correct take. And it's what I've been saying this whole time, everybody. Snoop Dogg eats babies with the Illuminati. Probably John Cena does as well. Like I said, all allegedly, in my opinion, all that stuff. Snoop Dogg, 100%. Because how to make sense of this? Snoop Dogg's going to make a whole video assassinating Trump. Going to do a bunch of videos online. I hate Trump. He sucks. He stinks. He's the worst. Blah, blah, blah. And then he's going to go perform at his shit. Really? Doesn't this show everybody that this is just even more of a show than anything else?
It's our entertainment. We live in a world of entertainment.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think Snoop knows how to
more specific with people. It make it more specific with people. Go watch the Truman Show. That's exactly what we live in. The Truman Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything Snoop wouldn't advertise from what I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, he's like Shaq.
Yeah. The times I've watched wrestling that I've gone to a friend's house, we'll say, and there's American adverts in the version that I've watched. It's just, yeah, it's Shaq and Snoop, and it's like, does nobody else get these roles? Or is it just you two advertising everything? But yeah, Snoop Dogg will just advertise whatever someone throws money at him by the look of it now, and just 1 minute is supporting Kamala, or 1 minute is against Trump, and now is for Trump. Just, that screams that to me. And like Doc just questioned, well, my version is, if people have got all the money in the world and they keep doing all these jobs for money, are they really doing it for the money, or are they getting something else for it? Because it's like The Rock with all his film roles. How much more money do you need? I don't understand. Unless you've got like a terrible drug or gambling problem where the money is just flying out as soon as you've earned it. What are you getting all this money for? And
yeah,
are you getting something else instead of money now because you don't need any more money? That's what I start asking. And I'm not saying I don't know what the dietary sort of like habits are if babies are on the menu. But there's definitely something there's something questionable because yeah, you don't need that much money, and I think maybe something else has been, I don't know. I'm not smart enough. I don't have X-ray vision.
Like you said, why work so hard? If you're the A-list guy in Hollywood for almost the past 10 years now or longer, you got all the money in the world. Why are you still working so hard? What are all these businesses for? Who are they really for? You know, what is going on here? Because most people I know, if you reach like $500 million, you're set for life. Your family's set for life. Your grandkids, and even beyond that, you're set. So what's another 500 million? Like, it seems silly at that point. If you're a normal human being, if you're a psycho, then yeah, then you're going to want to like not only have $1 billion, you're going to want to own the earth because you're nuts. That's not how normal people view money. Because money is just a tool to be used to better your life and your family's life. Once that's set, what's the fucking point? Now you can do your arts and your crafts, whatever you're really into. But somehow, a lot of these people, like, you know, Elon Musk, who we love around here, right? Thank you for letting us be on X and stuff for now. But, you know, you're going to have all this money and then you're going to just shoot rockets.
Oh, no, I'm quite impressed with a lot of that, to be honest.
But think about he's going to be possibly the first trillionaire ever, and he's shooting rockets all the time. Like,
but you know what that is? And I say this all the time. Most billionaires and trillionaires, think about it, $1 trillion that's too much. Most people with that much money, they have done so much in their lifetime. They've had everything they ever wanted, so they think of stupid things to do. Like, hey, let's go in a submarine, go underwater. Look at the
you remember that?
In a cardboard box.
Oh, let's shoot rockets in the sky. Let's shoot rockets in the sky. Let's see what's up there and what happens. You know what I mean? Just dumb stuff. That's why they only can think of dumb stuff to do.
People are starving. You know, there's wars all over the place, no. and then we got like a handful of people just hoarding all the wealth and doing the stupidest shit in the world you could do with it. He could literally fix hunger probably instead of shooting rockets off. How about we fix this place before we go fuck up everywhere else? If you even think we can do that, which I don't. I don't think we're going anywhere. I think he's shooting rockets into the ocean.
I think he's trying to fix home in his own way, in his own sort of like over the internet sort of way. But I don't begrudge the whole sort of like colonizing a different planet and at least kicking that can down the road for like future generations of people to carry on with. Yeah, one of the rocket he did the other day, I think it had problems on its launch, but then when it landed, he's getting that chopstick landing down, isn't he? I think that's what the machine's called, the structure's called, sorry, that catches the rocket. But that's a feat of engineering, is that the speed that bloody ship was coming down to get caught, just them two little rods in comparison, it's impressive. So there could be a lot worse things to spend money on.
You know, it's a cool fact. You know, humans haven't been supposedly above low Earth orbit since like 1971 or 2 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I do get confused about space, especially how we could go there once to the moon, for example, and we can't seem to do that again.
Did we go to the moon? Did we go to the moon?
That confuses me because I'm just a simple Earth man, so I don't understand how we could.
To the moon.
Yes or no? Did we go to the moon?
No, we did not.
Hollywood was big business back then.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was all done in a green room.
Or did they go and they faked stuff? Because this is what is always told to me. They go, oh, well, yeah, they faked it, but they really did go to the moon and black projects and things. You know,
I don't think they've ever went up there. I think it was all a green room. That's my first theory. My second theory is they went there and either somebody didn't come back or they seen something up there and they didn't go back. I'm gonna go with the first one, the green room.
How about this?
Both of them make sense.
It just reminds me now. I can't believe I've forgotten about this. On mainstream news, like a couple years ago, they admitted science or whoever, like these, like it was on Twitter, it was everywhere, that the moon is actually in the Earth's atmosphere.
Makes sense.
Have you heard that? I'm going to Google it right now just to make sure, because I know I'm not crazy. I seen that story and I'm like, what? They're actually saying it? Hold on, let me see.
So while you're looking for that, Reezy, what do you think they brought back from the moon?
I don't think they ever went up there.
Right. You just said, something happened or someone didn't come back.
No. I said
maybe they went and they brought something back.
Oh, so no, yeah, okay. I had two theories. That's my second theory. I said either they went up there and either somebody didn't come back the same or they seen something up there. That's what I said. But I mean, if let's say they did go up there, the only way I could think of that they wouldn't go back is if they seen something. Maybe they went up there and was like, okay, we're not supposed to be here. You know? Maybe we weren't quite frankly didn't get the invitation we were thinking. Maybe we didn't expect to see something up there. I don't know.
Space alien on the porch. Space alien on the porch. Like, jog on.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've only discovered. They said 90% of this, 90% of the ocean we have not discovered.
Yeah, how does that make any sense? They're acting like these are all my points. So I'm saying that I don't think we're going into outer space. Okay, I think we're kind of like trapped in a realm. I'll throw that out there because I don't know either way. You know what? If everything that science says is 100% accurate, and I just believe it and I come to know it. Okay, then that's what happens. I haven't really come to that point yet. I have too many things. They don't make sense. And having people on that call themselves scientists and things like that, and are going to yell at me and belittle me and tell me I shouldn't be thinking outside the box and I should just believe everything science says. It doesn't. I think that's stupid too. But I did find at least some people talking about it. Some guys like, fun fact, the moon is actually inside the Earth's atmosphere. Recent data from ESA, NSA show that the layer of gases surrounding our planet stretch far past the moon at around 3193. 100,900 or 391K basically miles. So I figured that would be like the response to, well, yeah, the Earth is in our atmosphere, but the moon is still like way, way, way out there. I don't know. I don't go that far. People say that, you know, they can tell by going up on an airplane 35,000 feet, which isn't even close to being high up in the sky. You know, balloons go up past 100K and they still see flat horizons and things. So I don't know. And yeah, we don't know a lot about our ocean, and that is a true fact. I've heard that ever since I was a kid as well. They're like, we don't know what the hell's going on down there. And guess where all these UFOs are showing up from? From the ocean. So what the hell's going on down there? Maybe we should focus more again on what's going on here, like where we are, and not like try to shoot rockets and all this other useless shit that's going on.
I'm telling
I think
you,
we could do, we can do both. I think, but just if we are gonna look for Atlantis or the wreckage of the Titanic, just don't do it in a little cardboard box. Just take it a bit more seriously. Or you're going to end up like what happened with that bloody poor people. That haunted me when I heard that. What an awful way to go.
Oh yeah, even thinking about it, that's like the worst way. Really, you know it's going to happen at some point. You're stuck down there. You got a fucking Xbox controller you're using to like get around. They must have been
smashing the joypad. Like, please work.
The worst. Yep.
Apparently, they went quickly though. It all happened like very quickly. Oh, that's just what they told the public, so people didn't start stressing about it.
Right, man. Yeah, that was a bad idea. And that's the thing. I'm not trying to go up into space. I couldn't even imagine being an astronaut, going either that deep somewhere or that high up. I don't want any parts of that. Just imagine you're like literally in a tin can, just going through nothingness, infinite nothingness. No thank you. No thanks. It's like, why don't you bury me underground too? That sounds like a good idea. You know?
Yeah.
I won't get anxiety from that at all. Yeah. Another reason why it's just like, it's crazy to me to think that there are humans that are going to be like, yeah, send me to the moon. I'm ready to go. Or send me to Mars or anywhere further. It's like, when you really think about it, that I'm going to go that far, thousands and thousands of miles into nothing. Like, I can see them going really high, especially, fighter pilots and things. But This is a whole nother level when you're talking about outer space.
That's why you let Elon Musk and all the competition winners go first. And then they can do this into the unknown, and then if they don't get eaten by a big space worm when they get there, then cool, let's get onto one of these giant ships and let's all go over and have a look.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ain't gonna be the first one on there. No chance.
And you get off your spaceship, you're in, and the thing is, like, even wearing a spacesuit, the tiniest of cracks, you're dead, done. You know, yeah. You walk out of your spaceship, and you just start seeing something moving in the sand, and then it's like, well, I just spent 3 years or whatever, pissing and shitting in tin can. And with this much space to get here, I'm not turning around, but what the hell is that?
And now I'm going to get eaten by a tremor. Yeah.
Or whatever. You don't even know what it is. It's underground, easy.
That's funny. We haven't even discovered, like they even say, even when it comes to underground, we haven't even went too far down there.
Yep. There's a story about that, in Dolce, Mexico, I believe it's called. Ever hear about I forget the guy's name, but used to do all these.
There's so much of this planet. There's so much of this planet that humanity has not discovered. That's why I always say, we weren't even the first here. There's no way we were the first here. There's no way humanity been here since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And has
extraterrestrials.
Yeah, we only discovered very little.
Yeah, it's just extra terrain. And this story, this guy was blasting. He was like, had to work for the government or whatever to like build facilities and things, but they had to blast rock to clear out so they can dig underground and all this stuff. So they're blasting and blasting, blasting. And then he's like, all of a sudden I fell into this cavern area and there were aliens like all over the place. And they were like doing, like functioning like almost like some kind of like society or a bunker thing that they had. And he's like, there were different kinds, and one of them shot him with some kind of like ray gun, and he always showed his chest. And I wish I knew his name, but if you ever want to look it up, it's like just look up underground wars in like New Mexico or whatever, and it's some crazy stuff. But he apparently died from all the complications of getting shot with a ray gun in this, and he said it was just reptilian things and stuff underground. Could you imagine if this stuff actually existed, though? Like how insane that would be. And that right there would tell you why they don't want anybody knowing any of this stuff, because people realized there were reptilians underground, they would freak the fuck out. You think they'd go to work the next day?
A lot of things.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think we've said it all, though. That's pretty much most of the wrestling notes. I can talk conspiracy stuff for days.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, wrestling, I think wrestling has been a step up as of late. There was a time where pro wrestling was really bad. It was just really bad to look at and watch. And now I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's a lot better.
Here, I'll leave you with this quick story. I heard when I was watching 83 Weeks shorts that there was a Brutus Beefcake story that Bischoff had where he was on a plane with him. Not a plane ride from hell, but pretty close to it. Let's bring up Ric Flair so we can set the mood here. And then Eric Bischoff, he's sitting. It was one of those planes that had a bar. It was really big. And he's like, everybody was partaking in the bar, of course. Eric Bischoff goes to go to the bathroom, and he walks by the bar, and guess who's there? Pissing all over the bar. I'll tell you in a minute. Brutus Beefcake. That's right. True story. I mean, Eric Bischoff did tell it. And he said Brutus the barber had a shit-eating grin on his face and was like, well, he was urinating all over the bar in front of everybody. And he's like, that was like one of the days where I was like, I can't believe I'm like with these people. These people right here, they're the total shits. They have no class. And that's how I feel mostly about, the internet wrestling community. The IWC, you're just like Brutus the Barber Beefcake out here pissing on the bar, booing at funerals, booing everybody. Everybody's the worst person in the world. They didn't agree with everything you said when it comes to pro wrestling or life or anything. Even though you may be like 14 years old and you think you got it all figured out, you definitely don't. Stop being Brutus, put the pee-pee away, stop peeing all over the bar. Yep. What do you think about that rant, Danny? You like that one?
No, I liked it. It was good. Yeah, people do just make a mess just for the sake of it. And Brutus was getting away with stuff at the time, I think, because just like the Hogan friend thing, he wouldn't have got nearly as far, and he wouldn't have got away with as much shit if he'd not been like best pals with Hogan or bag carrier.
Bag carrier. Yep. Well, that does it for us, Reezy. Thank you for coming on. Do you have anything to plug?
I got nothing coming up right now. Maybe a couple indie shows, but that's about it for me. I'm definitely gonna try to add this pod to this group chat I'm in, so we can try to get some more views and looks at this pod.
Share this, everybody out there. One of the greatest wrestling podcasts, comedy podcasts, whatever you want to call it, out there in the whole multiverse. Share it on YouTube. We need the watch hours on YouTube. It's really hard to come by. You guys love watching through X and TikTok. Twitch was the total shits. I mean, that was just brutal. So I cut them off. You're done, brother. No more Twitch. We're out of that game. And yeah, Danny, you got anything for us? Any plugs?
No farmers, no food. Oh, look at that. I've disappeared. There we go.
Kind of see it.
No farmers, no food.
That's right. We need farmers.
We need farmers. We've been protesting over here. We saw a big train of farmers through our town yesterday, which I didn't know they were coming. So there's quite a lot of people cheering them on, supporting them, which is nice to see. But yeah, we need to do a lot more.
It's crazy to me. Here's another conspiracy for you real quick before we sign off. But, this, do you realize there are patents on seeds? And then, you can't use the seeds? They own the seeds. You realize the implications for this, everybody? And this has been going on for a while. But I'm saying, you can't even grow your own food. They think it's theirs.
Yeah, the farmers get a very small amount compared to what everybody else gets in the chain, and they're taking the risks. And they've got this inheritance tax that's come in, and there's a lot of people that are poo-pooing the farmers because if you've got over £1 million worth of stuff, if you've got £1 million worth of a farm, then you have to pay this extra money now. And people think £1 million to a farmer is that means they're set for life. But I mean, some combine harvesters can cost just half of that already. And then you've got land and you've got loads of other factors, and they don't actually have a lot of cash sometimes. Some farmers are filthy rich, don't get me wrong, but they're not the ones that are going to be suffering massively, and they're not really the ones that are kicking off at the moment. But control the means
people eating it too.
Yeah. Controlling the food supply is a tactic from some not very nice people in history, and that's what it seems like it's happening now. Other places have dealt with it. It's our turn at the minute over here.
Yep, Bill Gates bought a bunch of farmland over here.
You're in the UK, right?
Yep.
Yeah, see, you guys' food is a lot better than ours. It's already been proven that a lot of the food, in fact, all the foods over here in America is actually not good. A lot of chemicals and poison and bullshit in it that kills us a lot early in life. So
we try and keep up with it, though. We try and keep up with that because it cuts costs for a lot of people. So they do try and put a lot of shit in food. When they say stuff sugar-free, they've taken the sugar out, but then all the sweeteners they put in are just we don't really know what happens to what happens with extensive exposure to this stuff. But at least you don't have sugar in your drinks anymore. And people think, oh, I'm drinking a healthy kind of Coke, and it's no, you're not. You're really not. And a lot of the things that you replace the unhealthy thing with ends up being worse. So yeah, American stuff has got a lot more additives, but we're trying to keep up with you just to cut costs and
definitely.
Oh man, yeah. come on, you people that are running the world, stop being so crazy. I know it's hard for crazy people not to know that they're crazy, but you're crazy. You guys are really, really crazy. It ain't gonna work out for you either in the end. Trust me. It's not gonna work out for anybody. Yep. So, all right.
2 more days. 2 more days, and that guy, that orange face, is going to rattle that cage.
I'm expecting some craziness to go down. You know, it's almost like an automatic. Yeah. Well, that will do it for us, everybody. Thank you for watching. Again, get out there, start sharing this video all over the place, because 34 views is all fine and stuff, and many more are going to be listening to this in the audio podcast that we put up on Apple Podcast and SoundCloud and all over the internet. Clip channel coming soon. Go get my album out here, Spotify, Apple Music,
that album,
YouTube. It's the bomb. And Teespring as well. Dr. Huge store. We got t-shirts, all kinds of crap out there. Go buy it. Go retweet this. Have a nice day.
Go buy it.
We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Titillate the juices. You know what? Woo! Right now. Woo! Woo!
Dr. Hughes invites followers. Oh, let's see if they increase now. Me too. Yeah, wow. Dr. Hughes.
Mock is mock.
He's a great podcaster.
Tricky is mock.
Acknowledge me.
We coming for you, nigga. Fat!
Yeah, Dr. Hughes, here we go. Keep plugging yourself, that's cool.
First up, a man whose looks will serve your inner needs and desires.
Dr. Hughes.